Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining my channel. My name is Rocky, and if you're new, this is where we talk about fashion, lifestyle right here in my city of Chicago, and just a little bit of beauty. But we're only talking about, well, no, we're talking about a lot of things today. Let's get right into it. Normally, I focus mostly on fashion, but I am on a somewhat of a moratorium on shopping for things fashion because my closet is in such disarray. I have no more space. And until I can declutter, I'm trying not to bring pieces in. But I had to make an exception for this one piece. And that's because a friend of mine that I've met through Zumba classes, her name is Michelle, and she has a fashion design company called Moda Michelle. So you can find them at modamichelle.com. And there was a local market that was happening with local designers and artists and all kinds of stuff happening, and I was happy to go and support her. I did pick up a piece from her and one of her business partners, and I'll show you the business partners piece first, so we can move on to Michelle's piece. So this is from the company Sound Off Designs, and they had so many different pieces to choose from. I just so happened to choose this one because I don't have anything like this in my hat collection. If you know, in the past maybe couple of years, I've been focusing on getting my caps in order. I don't necessarily wear hats like brimmed hats as much. It's the caps that I wear. I wear them for just daily use, for exercise, etc., etc. Loved the headphones on here. I'm sure it has something to do with the fact that this company is called Sound Off. Has to do with sound, but for me, I am a lover of music, a lover of dance, and I needed this in my collection. I don't have necessarily a lot of pink when it comes to my hats. I don't have a lot of prints when it comes to my hats, so this one really spoke to me. I think this is great, and it matches my outfit today. Just a just a coincidence. So if you're interested, check out soundoffdesigns.com, and I'm sure you can find some of their pieces. They have shirts, they have sweatshirts, they have sweaters. Like, I was really looking at some of their knit sweaters. They had like these beautiful, it's not argyle, it's like a check print, but really enlarged, beautiful check print. And but because I'm on a moratorium, I didn't pick up any clothes or anything, but I really wanted to. But go check them out. The next piece is from modamichelle.com, and I could not get this piece. I don't have this color scarf in my collection. I don't have very many scarves in general in comparison to all the vast number of things that I have of everything else. I don't have a lot of scarves, and I absolutely love this because it's both like very feminine and chic with the flowy fabric of it, but it's also very urban and hip and contemporary with the styling and the colors. I love that it has like a marbling, it's almost like a granite slash marbling design in the background, and I'm not sure if that's showing up. Yeah, it is kind of showing up on camera. And then she has on here printed words that kind of all over the place, just kind of just like friendship, swag, sway, just like all kinds of different words on here. Fabulous. And I think they're all positive words of affirmation, positive words that we use every day. But what I want to do with this, separate from this video, I'm going to show you all the various ways that I plan to style this scarf. And most of the times people think, you just kind of, the scarf is the scarf. You just wear it around your neck and that's pretty much it. But this one has enough fabric, is substantial enough where I can do a ton with it. And we're going to have fun. We're going to have a play with that. And I'll share that with you through I think the shorts are probably the best way to do that, or an IG story and stuff like that. Just stay tuned. I'll keep you posted on how I style this. So let's move on. I have all the rest of the things are beauty items, and because that's where I have space to expand because my closet is crazy. Let's go. So at this same market, I did visit another booth called Kingston James and Company. There you can find them at kingstonjamesandcompany.com, and they sell beautiful natural fragrances. I picked up one, and you won't be surprised which one I picked up. And it's a coincidence because I'm very sensitive to a lot of different notes. This one just so happened to work, but I picked up this fragrance called Chicago. They had several to choose from. This one is a citrusy kind of a fragrance, very fresh. The notes in here are ginger, vanilla, clary sage, myrrh, orange. So that gives you a good feel for it. It has alcohol, glycerin, and essential oils. That's all that's in here. So I am happy to have this in my collection. And I kind of chatted with the lady, and just after that chat, she decided to throw in some extras. You know, obviously her information card is here, but she threw in one called Wind. And she said this is one that you would like keep in your bag for like a toilet or room spray. And this one has, what does it have in here? This one, of course, the alcohol and glycerin, but tobacco, bay leaf, myrrh, vanilla, ginger, and lemon essential oils. So I thought this one was really cool too. You can just kind of, like she said, toss it in your bag or keep it in a room, and you use it as a room spray. So this is pretty cool to have. So they always say idle hands do bad work, and listen, I am no different. I got bored, not got bored, I had some time to kill between Zumba and having to run another errand, and I decided to go to the Magnificent Mile and sniff on some fragrances that I hadn't gotten my nose on yet. You know, I have a long laundry list of fragrances that are hard to find. And so like I was just trying to keep up on the new drops and things that are hard to find. So in that journey, I found a new fragrance place downtown called House of Dubai. They're not new. They're also in Rosemont, the fashion outlets. I've just never been. When I tell you, the store is massive, and the number of fragrance houses and brands that they have available is staggering. Like, I was overwhelmed. I spent 2 hours alone just in that store. 2 hours. Sniffing and having a good old time. So let me show you what I got from that store. So they happened to be having a sale when I came in there, where there was an additional 20% off of basically everything in the store, which tracks because the fragrance that I ended up picking up was also 20% off for some reason on their site as well, on the fragrance house's website. And I didn't have to pay for shipping because I was there in person. And I can't tell you how many fragrances, I probably could tell you how many fragrances I smelled that day, and narrowed it down to 3 that I absolutely loved. And then went between those 3 because I was only going to purchase one. And I ended up buying the new drop from House of Beau called Xuxu. XUXU, but you pronounce it Xuxu. And I gotta tell you what the notes are. I gotta probably put them on the screen as best I can, but all I would say is like a citrusy, like a kind of a citrusy, fruity, fresh. I have no idea how to open this. Oh my goodness, I don't know how to open this fragrance. We're gonna figure it out while I talk to you. But when I tell you, if you're in the Chicagoland area, you need to get over to House of Dubai because they have so many fragrances. And if you bought more than one fragrance, they would stack another discount on top. I don't know what that was because I wasn't buying more than one. I didn't ask. But I would imagine it's probably like another maybe 10% off or something like that if you buy more than one fragrance. There are quite a few fragrance stores in the 900 North Michigan building, which I knew of some, but not all. And I was just really surprised and just had a good old time. I also went to Neiman's. I also went to Bloomingdale's to smell fragrances as well. But this is what we're going to open this together because obviously I couldn't open it and we're doing this together. Look how beautiful this cap is. Gorgeous. All right. And I'm going to spray it just to make sure because a fresh bottle versus the tester is a little bit different. So let's see if it's that different. Oh goodness. Let's get it together here. Why did this spray right away? This has been sprayed before. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy. They gave me a used bottle. Yeah, it probably was a used bottle because there was no plastic on this. Now that I think about it, there was no plastic wrap on this. But anyway, gorgeous, beautiful. Just as I thought. There's something like that's making my mouth water about this. It's not like a literal gourmand, but there's something fruity, vanillic, creamy, green, oody, but I don't think it's oud, but there's some wood in here that's kind of like holding it down on the base, and it's very, very nice. That's all I can say. But I am actually, now I'm side-eyeing this bottle because I don't know. I know it should be some like of a dent in there, but I feel like this has been sprayed before because when it's brand new, it doesn't, there's air in the tube and it shouldn't spray on the first spray, one. And two, there was no plastic on this box. There's usually some plastic wrap on the box. Why didn't I notice that when I wasn't even thinking about that? Why didn't I notice that? Anyway, I move on. I just move on. So in addition to that, they gave me, they said they'll make a free 2-ounce sample of anything that I wanted. One of the other fragrances that I was trying to decide between was Kajal's, what is it? Eau de Kajal? That's the name of it. Kajal Eau de Kajal. And let me show you the name of it. If it'll come up on screen for you. It doesn't want to focus because it just doesn't like me. That's Kajal. And beautiful bottles. Is very the bottles look very similar to Roja's bottles, and Roja's are super expensive. But I put this on and I couldn't. So on paper it smelled gorgeous, but on my skin, I tried it in the store. I could not smell anything, and it was like super light and alcohol-y at first on the paper, and then it just turned into something super beautiful. And oh my gosh, it just developed really nicely just now. That is very nice. And this is what it smelled like on the paper. So it just wasn't working on my skin in the store. It could have been a couple things. I could have gotten nose blind because I had, at that point, smelled so many fragrances. If you're inside a store that has a lot of fragrances swirling around, it's a big store, but a lot of fragrances being sprayed. And I think I already had stuff on. So I think at that point, it was really hard for me to detect what was what. But when I got home, after trying a bunch of fragrances, there was something that was bothering me so much so that I just needed to take a shower because I couldn't tell where it was coming from. Bothering me in the sense that it might have had a white floral in it, and it was just making me not feel well. And so I ended up having to shower. This is super oily too. This is beautiful. And so I'm gonna figure out if since I don't have anything on my wrist right now, we're gonna figure out if this was the culprit, because I have this here. Let's see how it heats up and develops. But I just couldn't, after a while, stand it anymore. The same thing happened to me with Thamine's Pellegrina or Pergrina. It's a rose fragrance. Didn't know that it had jasmine in it. It smelled beautiful on the paper strip. I put some on my body, and by the time it was the end of the day, well, middle of the day, I was in tears because it just would not go away. I washed my wrist with soap and it just would not go away, and I was in tears. So anyway, I wonder if this is the culprit. So anyway, this is one that I was considering. I had never smelled it before. It was just on my list to get my nose on, and I was just in love. And I'm just always surprised when I surprise myself when I just make a rash decision to just pull the trigger on something without having worn it around a little bit. Hopefully I don't regret this House of Beau Xuxu. They also threw in a sample of Valaya. And Valaya I already know is not going to work for me. It has white florals in it, but I'll just give it away. The notes in here are bergamot, mandarin, sweet white peach, white flowers settling on musk, vanilla, and woody base notes. So I already know that it has the white florals in here, and so I can't do it, but I'll just give it to somebody who will appreciate it. And then lastly, I had just tried this sample just before coming over to House of Dubai at Neiman's. I just tried this new drop from Initio called Sugar Blast, and I fell in love with it. Now, I can't afford to be buying Initio full price. Initio's stupid, ridiculously expensive. But I just noted, like, put a heart by it, absolutely love. And then coincidentally, they gave me a sample in House of Dubai. So I'm super excited to have this to wear and just to make sure that I like it. And I'll keep my eye out for sales and to see if it pops up on the discounter websites. But I'm so happy to have this one in my collection. So then I went over to Bloomingdale's. And before you get excited, I did not actually make a purchase. I got this bag because my House of Dubai bag broke, and the lady in the fragrance counter said, hey, let me give you another bag. And so I put my House of Dubai things in there. And then I ran into a friend who was shopping there at the same time. So we spent about another hour or so. I was helping him figure out what fragrance he needed to buy. And we just explored a bunch of fragrances that were in Bloomies. And since he made a purchase, the woman gave me some samples. And these are some new to me fragrances that she thought I'd like. So the very first one is Armani Orange Mediterranean. Look, I don't know. And it's not going to focus, but this is this is it. But let's put it on some paper. Let's see what this is all about. I have not heard of this before. Let me put it on the Bloomingdale's bag. She said it seemed as if I like citrus things, and so I should like that. And I had already told her that I didn't like white floral, so let's see if she just grabbed any old thing. It's very green, super green, orange, orange forward. That's why I guess it's called orange. But it's very leaning very masculine to me, so it's not something that I'm going to wear, but it's leaning very masculine, and it does smell expensive, but it's very masculine. So there must be like some lavender or something in here, and I don't know what the notes are. So maybe if I have the wherewithal, I can put on here what I smell. But there's some sort of like a evergreen, woody, piney note. I don't know what kind of trees fall into that area besides a fir, a balsam fir or evergreen. That I smell. Lavender I smell. Orange I smell. It just smells, yeah, like that. So anyway, not for me. Now this next one is a brand that I am not familiar with. I should have gone over and sniffed and had a play, but it's from the brand Coty. And this one is called Soleil de Cosim. I don't know. You all tell me. I'll put it on the screen. And I know nothing about this fragrance. I don't know what notes could possibly be in here, but we're gonna test this out. Yeah. So she said she thought, based on my feedback on other fragrances, this is something that I would like. So absolutely not. White florals in here. Seems kind of vanillic creamy. It could even be like a fig or coconut. It's something creamy, but definitely some white florals in here. I think minus the white florals, everything else I would have liked, because it is very nice. It's very summery, beachy. If I were going on vacation and I could tolerate white florals, this is something that I would pick up. But given that, it got sun in the name, so it's probably meant for sunshine, summer, beach, whatever. Not for me, so be giving this away too. Now, that's mostly for the fragrance, but I did want to share something with you all and get you all's opinion or feedback on something. So it wasn't until, for the first time as a conscious fragrance collector, I have empties, and I don't know what to do with the empties. And you all tell me what you all do with your empties. But I have, for the first time, I have an empty. My Glossier U is empty, you all. Down to the last drop. You can't see anything stirring around in there. And then my Delina hairspray is empty. And then lastly, I made a conscious effort to empty these, but I have a set, like a discovery set from Byredo. And I think I've seen people sell these type of empty containers on like Poshmark and Mercari. I don't know why you would want an empty box and empty whatever, but I think I'm just going to put it on there for like a couple bucks and see if somebody wants. But what do people do with their empties? Because especially for like a House of Beau, where the lid itself is super pretty, super expensive. Do you use it as a paperweight? Like, what do you do with the empties? They don't refill these bottles specifically, because I did ask. Do they have a refill program? And they didn't say that they did. So I don't know. Like, what do you do with your empties? But I'm super excited to report that I actually have empties. You know, I have a very vast collection, and I just didn't know that empties were even possible with all the things that I have. But I have some empties here, and I don't know really what to do with them. Tell me what you do with yours. Lastly, I want to share with you an update or a review on a product that I introduced to you some time ago that I just didn't really have a point of view on just yet. And this one is Dr. Groot's. There we go. Dr. Groot's, like a scalp revitalizer. And I needed that because, again, I told you I'm on this journey to get my hair back healthy. And this has arginine, niacinamide, salicylic acid. It instantly smooths your hair from root to tip. They said 89% claimed that they had smoother hair in just 5 seconds. And guess what? And you use this in the shower. The first time I tried to use this, I did not do it in the shower. I did it kind of like in the sink and just really poorly. So I didn't really understand what it was supposed to do. But when I did it the right way in the shower, when I tell you it was the most luxurious experience, it like foams and it's silky and it just feels so good on the hair and on the scalp. I could have left this on forever and just rubbed it on forever. It says liquid texture is designed to instantly hug hair. After 5 seconds of massage, it transforms into a creamy texture to provide nourishment. And that's exactly what happened. And once I did the rest of my treatment and the rest of my hair wash day process, it was a noticeable difference. Like my hair was sleeker, it wasn't frizzy. And you've seen me do these videos, and I always have like a little frizz, a little puff going on. And as a result of using this, it's less of a frizz and a puff. And I would imagine like after continuous use, it'll even be better. But come on. So anyway, if you're looking for something to reduce frizz, kind of ease the detangling process, all of the things make your hair feel nicer and just feel nicer. And then when I was done, it said that another effect of this is like visibly fuller hair. When I was done, my husband said, just randomly, I didn't even ask his freaking opinion, but he said, your hair looks thicker now. Like whatever you're doing is working. So I think that this might have something to do with it. So I'm going to give it my stamp of approval. You know, usually when I first get something, I don't like bless it right away, but I'm going to give the stamp of approval. I got this from Amazon. I'll link my Amazon store below if you're interested in knowing exactly what product it was and where to get it. So I'll link it below. So that brings us to the end. I feel like I talked way too much, but I was super excited to share House of Bow Xuxu with you so I can go ahead and get it on my skin. Verdict is still out on like if I got an open product though. I am not happy about that, even though I'm smiling. I'm not happy about that. So that's it. Tell me what you like, don't like, if I inspired you to go do something here or not inspired you to do something here. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share with a friend. Bye.
Rocky, she's just a fashion girl from Chicago. Rocky, just a fashion girl from Chicago.